Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at...
Pardon the interruption for a very important news update.
This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is your holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther, farther, farther. Theme hits loud, then the grips come off. Call out the card, call every payoff. Botches, legends, titles, and heat. Pay-per-view nights, run it back, repeat. They slam, we analyze. Move for move, every feud, every bruise, every pivot move. This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is your holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. No script, just true. Every jab breaks through. From the bell to the brawl. Name the show. We want it all. 1, 2, 3. This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is no holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther.
All right, what is up? Good afternoon, happy Saturday, wrestling fans, and welcome finally, WrestleMania Rewind series, WrestleMania 17. What many consider to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time. We are finally here. Forgive us that we were off last week, had some stuff, but we'll be on this week. We'll be off next weekend, and maybe the weekend after. So Josh and I will figure out what we're going to do for WrestleMania 18, which I love WrestleMania 18. That was another epic WrestleMania for me. But this one, WrestleMania 17, can't wait to discuss it. Of course, we had to get an all-star crew. Of course, Josh Kimmel, my tag team partner on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. We got No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast alumni, Alfred Matthews in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Back in, the OG over here. Appreciate Alfred in here. And, of course, my man. Of course, we got our brother, Adrian Rainey of the Too Raw for SmackDown podcast in the house as well. He said from the very beginning when we started this, not WrestleMania 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. He was like, hey, WrestleMania 17, book it. I'm there. You know, no discussion. Just like I'm there. He invited himself. He's one of those, he'll just tell you he's showing up. I was like, damn, all right. Well, can't tell him no. So
I'm coming to the party.
That's right. I'm just coming. I'm showing up. I was like, damn. But hey, I'm very excited to talk about the No Holds Barred, the WrestleMania 17 WrestleMania Rewind. Looking back at this WrestleMania, this epic WrestleMania. Got Ryan Taylor already in the house. He says Hollywood back on No Holds Barred. Yes, there you go. There you go. You got DSG. You got Fernando says the greatest Mania of all time. So I appreciate already the comments and people dropping in here. Appreciate everyone who is watching wherever you're watching. You could be watching on the Vince Talk Sports Network YouTube channel. You could be watching on the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel. You can watch this on one of our X's, or you could be possibly watching this on the Vince Talk Sports Network.com website, just launched today, which is it's on there right now on the homepage. I'm looking at our beautiful faces. So there you go. But before we get into WrestleMania 17, let's get this ball rolling. Josh, my man, just before we go match to match, you've seen 17 WrestleManias and you've been ranking these WrestleManias. We're going to get to your ranking at the end of the show, but your quick 1-2 punch on WrestleMania 17. How did you feel going in and how do you feel coming out?
Yeah, man. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days, because this was the good old days, man. Like, this was it. Not every match hit, right? Not every match was great. Not every match was, but every match was fun. I was like, hey, I remember him. Hey, I mean, besides the gimmick battle royal, everything else was fun. So I'm not going to lie. I watched this last week. I rewatched it today. I've seen it twice in 2 weeks. So it was a good show overall. Like, I'm excited to talk about it, get into it. But I will say I didn't watch the WrestleMania after this because the ending kind of rubbed me and a lot of people the wrong way, which I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about.
Yes, we are. Alfred, how about you, my man? I know, again, this is a WrestleMania that you love. This is another one. You're another one who was like, hey, Bobby, when you guys do this one, I want to be a part of this. So I don't know if you got a chance to rewatch this or you're just going based off memory. Did you get the chance to rewatch this before the show?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
Awesome.
I have I don't know if you all know, but I have a thing where towards WrestleMania season, I usually have a series where I watch from WrestleMania 1 to currently up to the current spot. So it takes about a few months to do and everything. So every single time I get to WrestleMania 17, so I have my memory, like vividly remember every WrestleMania. So as soon as I get to WrestleMania 17, I always tell people this is the pinnacle of when wrestling was at its height at that time. And I was in attendance at this WrestleMania. Obviously, I'm not saying it because this is my hometown and everything. So it always holds a special place in my heart. So I'm not even trying to be a homer when I say, hey, this is the greatest WrestleMania. This is the greatest wrestling pay-per-view of all time, period. And I don't think anything will come after this that will be better than this WrestleMania. And anything before this was better than this WrestleMania. So that was my standpoint of this WrestleMania, this 17.
I love it. I cannot wait to hear what Josh says at the end of the show, because Josh is, he's been ranking these WrestleManias and he shocked me, like we talk about WrestleMania 3. He's like, I don't even like WrestleMania 3. It's like, so it is like, one of the greatest of all time in the main events, but still I get it, to each their own. So I'm excited to see what the end result is. If Josh is going to surprise us or he's going to be like, maybe disappoint us. We'll see. Adrian Rainey, my man, you have to talk. I know how much you love this pay-per-view, WrestleMania 17. You started from the very beginning on it. Why?
Well, just because, like everybody been saying, like this was when wrestling was at its peak, and for me, being the age I was, all in on wrestling. The Rock, Stone Cold main event. Come on, man. It don't get no better than that. And then just where they were in their careers also. A lot of fun matches. It had a little bit of everything. It had comedy. It had, some emotional stuff. And then the high spots with the TLC match. I mean, it had everything you could possibly think of. And that's why it's just my favorite of all time. It takes me back.
Yes. I'll say for me with watching this show, it was what I loved about it, and I think why it is, in a lot of people's opinion, the best WrestleMania. It's truly the end of an era and the start of a new. It's kind of the mix between Attitude and Ruthless Aggression. Ruthless Aggression, right after WCW was purchased. This is the show right after WCW was purchased. WCW was purchased on Monday or Monday Nitro, and then they had WrestleMania 17. It felt that way. It felt like, okay, this is where they're leaning in this direction now. And I just love the way this show was produced. And, like Josh said at the top, there are matches that are like, could have been left off. But still, all in all, there's enough on here where you're like, this was a good show. Ending was not perfect. We're going to get to that. But other than that, great show. We'll start off with the opening contest, Intercontinental. I always say it like this. I say it when I play WWE 2K with my son. The Intercontinental Championship. Got the WWF Intercontinental Championship on the line. Jericho taking on the commissioner, William Regal. Again, two guys I love watching. Back in the day, William Regal is not like, what do you call, like when you take about draft picks or something, sexy pick, like, oh, William Regal. It's like, nah, no, he was actually really good. Traditional wrestler, hard hitting. I mean, he embarrassed Goldberg. Dude's the real deal, and he was a great character. He was funny, dude. I love his facial expressions, but you could tell he could kick your ass, So I enjoyed this one here. Jericho goes over. Josh, Jericho was your guy, man. This is when you switched to WWF, when Jericho jumped from WCW to WWF. So let's go ahead and get your thoughts on the opening contest.
Yeah, man. Good opening match. Solid. You can't go wrong with Jericho and Regal. Jericho gets a clean win. Lion Salt, 1, 2, 3. I was just curious, like, this is how you're going to use Jericho. Like, this is it. Just last year, you were discussing him being in the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWF title, and now he's opening the show against Regal for a IC title, which is good, I guess. But at that time, was it that important? I don't know. Who knows? I can't remember when I was 15 years old how prestigious that title was. But I do know that there was the backstage stuff with Regal having a serious, neck issue. That's why they wanted Jericho to work with him. Short match. And basically, remember the part where he peed in his tea?
Yeah.
Regal had real heat. Regal did not like that at all. Real life. Like, he was pissed about it. So, it made him look silly, and he didn't like that about it. I was just doing some research on it. Just thought it was hilarious to hear that. But anyway, it's a TV match, though. It's a TV match. But hey, they can't all be bangers, right? We need that low. We need that like suspense, that build up. We don't get that these days. In 2026, we open the show with world title matches. We open the show with Brock Lesnar, right? Like,
yes.
So now we got to put ourselves back in that era where they start slow and build up to the top. So good match though, man. I had fun.
Alfred?
I 100% agree with Josh on that point right there. This was back in the day where every single match on a card, not just on this WrestleMania, but on a card had a promo, type video to build up the match and everything. And I remember vividly, like when Jericho and William Regal's match before they happened, they showed the promo video for their match, and I remember when Jericho did the P thing and William Regal, and it was hilarious and everything like that and everything. Me personally, I love the placement of this match on the opening card because, at the time, Jericho, at that time, he was really a very good face at the time. And, you had to start off the show hot. So starting the show off with him coming out first set a tone that this was going to be a great WrestleMania. So I enjoyed the match fully. The IC title is still, at the time, it was my favorite title in WWF at the time, because I just love how it was how it transitioned to different types of people that I really enjoyed, like favorites wise. And like you said earlier, William Regal at the time, like I said, he's not like a sexy name or anything like that, but he really can go in the ring, especially he's real big on, his footwork and everything in the ring and everything. So I really enjoyed the opening match. I wasn't surprised Jericho went over on William Regal because, like I said earlier, you have to start off the show. This WrestleMania to start the show with a bang. So they definitely did that, and I enjoyed this opening match on this card potentially.
Yeah, I just saw Ollie Gordon's down. I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, oh crap! I don't see what they heard, but I see he's down. So, following Dolphins preseason game, we will have the post game later tonight. Again, I'm live again. There'll be my third time, but that's okay. Now, Adrian, again, one thing to say in regards to Intercontinental title or the Intercontinental, back in the day, it meant something. Like, if one guy had the IC title, you knew his next step was possibly the WWF Championship. So, to me, it mattered. So when someone had it, it mattered. So I always enjoyed these type of matches. And again, these guys are like, you had where wrestling was going with Jericho, his style to old, and where the old school style, which was the barroom brawl type of guy, which is William Regal, who was a traditional wrestler as well. So I just enjoyed it. But Adrian, what do you think of that opening contest?
Yeah, I was just about to speak on that. Both of the things you said. Intercontinental title was the workman's title back then. It was the step before going into the main event scene. Loved that. The clash of styles, William Regal's technical style versus Jericho. Jericho was almost like a high flyer back in the day, pretty close to it.
Yeah.
But the clash of styles was great. Short match, but did what it needed to do, get the fans hype, and they did what they do. Two professionals went out there, started the night off with a bang, and Jericho going over. Everybody's seeing that. The stories in this WrestleMania were really good. So I thought at least, but this was a good story. Eastern European heel versus a Canadian babyface. It worked out perfect.
Just
Now,
want to add.
go ahead.
Just want to add. Dave Meltzer rated 2 stars. I got them all.
Of course he did.
Nobody gives a shit.
Meltzer.
Dave Meltzer.
He's a professional.
I got them all
at pissing people off.
But now that
For
you said
sure.
it, now I'm interested to hear what he did. Anyway, now we got. Talk about hard hitting. You got Bradshaw, Farouk, Taz. You got Right to Censor, which I remember they annoyed the hell out of me when they were around back in the day.
They did their job,
Val
man.
Venus, Pat. Was it? No, I'm gonna butcher his name. Pat
Bull
Buchanan.
Buchanan.
Bull Buchanan.
Bull
Who, again,
Buchanan.
that dude was for that size, for his athleticism, that dude's ridiculous. Man.
Oh yeah.
Like that, but I was gonna kick out of this group, and Bradshaw was one of my, even when he became JBL, was one of my favorites, dude. Like, again, another hard hitting big dude, and I mean, when you knew that clothesline from hell was coming, that has to hurt, legitimately hurt. And I know he was just talking about it this week about having the clothesline Shane McMahon telling him, you have to clothesline the hell out of me, like do it as hard as you can. And Farouk's like, don't do it, we're fired. If you do it, we're fired. And Shane's like, you're gonna get fired if you don't. And so they did a replay, and you see Shane's head just disappear as fast as he hit it, and Farouk just went, we're fucking fired. So it's like, but anyway, Brad, it wasn't that long of a match. Taz, obviously, I think he didn't stay too long after this. He was about done after this. I think he was already commentating on SmackDown. I know he had a run with the Rebellion, with the Invasion, but it was all right. This was fun just for guys who go, oh, I remember them. That was cool. But I didn't really think much of this match. Adrian, I'll start with you, and then Alfred, and then Josh will wrap that one up. Adrian?
Okay.
Love the comment, Ryan. I was going to say that too, man. The worst entrance music ever. Like, by far. It's just an alarm going off the whole time. Like, that was so annoying. But funny as hell to see Godfather censored when he was, what he was. The whole train, all that, gone. But Farouk and Bradshaw, one of the best tag teams ever. And that clothesline from hell, man. This one was a fun little match. It was pretty quick as well. But you finished with the clothesline from hell for sure. Lay Godfather out, and that was it. Nice transitions in that match also. But it was good. It was cool. It was a fun little match. Taz ain't really get much time in that match. It was mostly Farouk and Bradshaw. So you could tell he was on his way out. But I thought it was good. The right people won. And as long as we didn't have to hear that music again, that was the most important thing.
Alfred.
I think I think it the same way. I think they did a very good decision allowing Bradshaw to do his finisher and pin for the win, because it was in Bradshaw's home state. So he even alluded to it in his the promo, like right before the match started. He was saying how he was when he was younger. He was in the Astrodome watching Nolan Ryan pitch, things along those lines and everything. He getting like playing to the crowd before the match started. So it was a good decision to allow Bradshaw to have his moment in the Astrodome and secure the pin. The only thing I didn't like about the match was when he won and he was celebrating on the top turnbuckle. He was doing the Longhorn sign, and I hate Texas Longhorns. That's the only thing I didn't like about the match. But overall, it was a nice, like I said, quick match and everything. Quick match in that regard.
Yeah. This match was kind of put together too. This was not supposed to be the angle. The cat was supposed to be involved in this angle, and she walked out, and that's when the King walked out. And we didn't even mention Paul Heyman is on commentary with JR.
Yeah, true.
And that's the reason why Paul Heyman is on commentary, because the King walked out with the cat. So she was supposed to be involved in this. None of this made sense, but it was a banger match. Like, when I mean by banger match, just hard hitting, big dudes. Hitting other big dudes. Like, what else? Back in the day, there wasn't 20-minute commercials and, hey, come to Las Vegas and look what happened. Like, they had to have cool-off matches back then. Now we have cool-off ads. We have cool-off matches back now. They used to give us matches as our cool-downs. Hey, guys, remember when we used to go, the bathroom match? Now we don't have that anymore because you literally have 20 minutes.
We do.
Right, yeah.
We do. It's not
you've been in the
intentional.
bathroom for a long time, As does itself.
No, but this was a throwaway match, man. But hey, it's that era though. I'm glad these guys, like, hey, I bet you that meant a lot to Bradshaw, because like you said, he grew up there. Big moment for him. We don't know what it's like to be at that time. Like, oh, they're just a second match. Yeah, but to him, it might be his favorite match because of where it was. So that's cool.
Moving on now to what I felt was an entertaining match. I always liked this one, was Kane taking on the Big Show and Raven for the Hardcore Championship. A lot better than what the hell we saw the last WrestleMania, that random ass battle royal, whatever the hell that was. I mean, that thing that bothers me, man. I that was the one thing I was like, oh, this might be a fun match. It ended up being so damn confusing and stupid, but this one was enjoyable, man. Like, first off, again, looking at Kane, the size of Kane and the athleticism of Kane and what he was able to do, and the Big Show was, you know, and then Raven, poor Raven, dude. I love Raven. I loved him in WCW. You know, I liked him in WWE. I really wish I got more to see him when he was in TNA and all that. I want to go back and try to look at what he did there when he was there, but I liked him in WCW. So seeing him here was really cool. I always enjoy watching this match with him, but he was a practice dummy. I mean, he didn't really do much. I mean, the poor guy was thrown through glass, thrown through a wall, you know, tried to drive the go-kart and ran into, he almost fell off. And I'm like, and then he was done with the final spot over the top and crashed into the thing. And it was just like, damn, you know, but all in all, this was an enjoyable match. It's meant to be messy. But it was messy in a way that it was entertaining, you know, like, you know, and they did the right thing. You could tell it's dummy glass. You could tell it's a dummy room. They're not really throwing each other through walls. That was put up for that match, but it still got the crowd when the crowd in the arena is reacting with what's going on backstage, and you could hear them go, whoa, whoa. Like, you could tell it meant something. Like, my daughter and my son were watching it, like, oh, was that real glass? You know, like, yeah, that's real glass. Like, oh man, he's dead, I think, you know. So it was a fun match. It did its purpose. So I really enjoyed that, Josh.
Yeah, forgot to mention Dave Meltzer on the last match, 0.5 stars. 0.5 stars.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Bradshaw. Yeah, everything you said, man. Raven was just like the guy who was getting punished all the time. I couldn't get over every time an ECW guy was on screen, Paul Heyman try to get those guys as over as possible. Raven is like, dude, okay, we get it. Like, these are your guys. We get it. These are your boys. Like, you don't have to say it over and over and over. Raven almost destroyed the show. Did you guys know about that? When he was driving the golf cart, almost ran over the production.
Yes.
Or
yes.
they were just
I was going to bring that up too.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what happens with hardcore matches. I think Austin did that once or twice, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I have nothing to say about this match. I can't wait till this era is over. The hardcore. I hate it. I hate it so much. 1.75 stars is what Meltzer gives it. I think that's generous. Because this was worse than the other match, honestly. So wasn't a fan. It gets better from here. Like, this is the
what did
last
Meltzer
bad
get?
match.
I'm sorry. What did Meltzer give it?
1.75 stars.
Okay.
I mean, that's good. That's generous.
I think people like, you know, it's a hardcore match, so I don't expect like A1 wrestling in these type of matches and everything like that. But I do want to say on this match, I bet when y'all saw backstage and everything, the lasting impression of the Astrodome, because I know the people was like, oh my God, like, it looks so old and things like that and everything. Y'all got to realize, like, this was before NRG Stadium was open. It was in the process of being open and everything. Minute Maid Park was like a year into, like, you know, a year to be being built and everything like that. So I'm kind of glad they did show, you know, like those backstage aspects of the Astrodome, because like I said, to me, like I said, obviously I live in Houston and everything, so I'm fond of those Astrodome memories and everything. So I'm glad that, you know, they went backstage and everything instead of just having a hardcore match, like just by the ring and things like that along those lines. So I believe, like I said, it wasn't supposed to be an A1 like type 5-star match or anything like that. So I mean, it did its job to me and everything. So in my opinion, I wouldn't have been mad if Raven retained and everything. So that's just my opinion on that hardcore match.
I just want to say one thing. Josh, go ahead, Josh. I don't want to interrupt your point. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I understand it's not supposed to be an A1 pro wrestling match. I understand that, but they gave it 9 minutes and 28 seconds. You gave the next match, Eddie Guerrero, 8 minutes and 30 seconds. You see what I'm saying? You gave Jericho 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Why is this garbage match getting more time than real wrestling matches? That's my whole gripe on it. I think it went too long. The match before, under 4 minutes. APA and Taz, under 4 minutes. Again, like, the garbage match is like the third longest match on the card. That's not the main event. Like, that's crazy to me. But that was my only point. If it went 5 minutes, it would have been fun.
I would just want to say this, and Adrian, forgive me, and you could react to what
Yeah,
I'll
good.
say or not, or you could jump right back into this match. I saw Ryan brought up Paulie dangerously. Refreshing. Jim Ross and Paul Heyman. It was like Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. Like they were so perfect for each other. That it's only one WrestleMania that we got. That is a damn shame. Like listening to those two go, and obviously Paul Heyman. Not saying that Jerry the King doesn't. Jerry the King got a new street in Memphis, which is really cool. Hope he's doing well and all that. And obviously a legend in his own right. But we've been saying this, Adrian and Matt and Alfred, about Jerry. Like we listen to Gorilla and Jesse the Body, Gorilla and Bobby Heenan. Those are my favorite. There's nobody who touches those two guys. Right. They're like 1A, 1B. And so everybody goes, "Oh, Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross." Now I'm now re-listening to it. It's like, God, dude. But hearing this one here, it brought me, like I said, that would be perfect. Jim Ross and Paul Heyman were perfect with each other. It was refreshing to hear these guys call it, and I was like, it's only one time. It's only one WrestleMania we're gonna get this because Jerry the King is gonna come back right after this. But go ahead, Adrian, about this next one here, the triple threat hardcore match.
Paul Heyman's first WrestleMania, also.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
on WWE TV. So that was nice. Like you said, refreshing for sure. He was gonna try to put his guys over.
Okay.
But yeah, and Paul, to speak on Paul just his knowledge of the business and his knowledge of promos, like him be able to convey and like feed off JR's, play by play. It was great, man. Paul's a legend. But this match, yeah, I agree, Josh. This should have been way shorter. I think the whole trip to the back, once it went a little too long, but it was a fun match, but just way too long. Kane winning. This match was really Kane versus the Big Show, and then Raven was just there to take bumps.
He was a little gnat that's flying around the ring.
Yeah, that's it. So you're gonna take the biggest bumps, and then that's it. And then Kane wins. This one, Kane was one of my favorites for sure. So I was very happy with him winning that. But yeah, good match, fun match, but just went a little too long. Yeah.
Then we get the another title match on the line here. Eddie Guerrero taking on Test, and
Big Cass.
That's what I was gonna say. Big Cass. But well, again, one of my favorite things. Again, it's like Jericho, and William Regal, but like getting to see and Raven, but getting to see Eddie and the Rascals. Perry Satter and Dean Malenko, and they were involved. But this is
Dean Malenko's dad too, right? His dad was there. He would have the tucked in shirt, the belt, the jeans, and really tight skinny. God, dude, why is Dean dressed like that, man? What a nerd.
He was. That's how he was, dude. You remember that? He always dressed like that. He never. I don't think he ever had any real merch, dude.
Like just wear track pants or something, man. Like he looked like the dad, like he's at Disney World or something. Like he's
he is, right? He looks like that dad. The little small dad. You don't want to upset. You're like, oh man, here comes Mr. Malenko.
Yeah, small dad.
Alfred, I'm gonna start with you, man. What are your thoughts on this match? Eddie Guerrero, Test, both God rest their soul. But yeah, see Eddie, the late great Eddie Guerrero.
Despite the interference part of this match, I really liked the match. I'm a huge Eddie fan growing up and everything. Loved his work in WCW, and then when he came over to WWF, same thing with Test. I always thought Test was one of the most underrated wrestlers in the Attitude Era. So to see those two mix up and everything, me personally, I felt like the interference part wasn't needed. I get why they did the interference part. Because Eddie was the heel and everything, and this was before everybody, with the lie, cheating, steal persona and everything. He, the Radicals interfering and everything like that. I just felt like they could have just had a good one-on-one match without interference for the title, and it would have been a real, like a real good match in my opinion. So I understand why Eddie Guerrero won the match and everything, but I just felt like, the interference didn't have to happen in my opinion.
I agree. Test, first of all, Test was a brick shit house. Oh, yeah. That dude was so damn big. I mean, that's in the.
I was shocked that they said 6'6". I'm like, he's 6'6". I thought he was bigger than that. He's 6'6".
Yeah, he was.
He wrestled big. He used to put his legs over the rope.
You could tell Test was juiced up though. He was. I mean, bro, so big. But yeah, this is a fun little match. Eddie Guerrero, typical heel. I mean, that just fit his persona anyway. Lie, cheat, and steal stuff. I was watching this with my son, and he's like, he cheated. I was like, yeah, that's what he does. So, every time you see Eddie, it's gonna be a good one. He always gonna keep you entertained. And yeah, like Ryan said, Tess can move for a big dude. So this is a nice little clash of styles. Also, good match. Good match.
Yeah, they were selling that Tess was massive, strong dude. Didn't even sell the Hurricanrana. He tried
at all.
Top rope.
Yeah, he
stood
definitely
there.
didn't.
Yeah. So yeah, just a big man versus little man match. Eddie won. It's weird seeing Saturn and those guys because they didn't really work out. It's kind of weird having. Eddie has his big moment at WrestleMania. Not a big moment, but you guys know. And then Saturn just throws that goofy, stupid hat on him. Like, come on, dude. Like, you guys didn't need to be here. Eddie was getting brought down by, unfortunately, because of the booking by those guys. Glad they split off and did their own thing because Eddie was much better without him. But Tess, you're right. So much untapped potential. But look at the main event scene there. It's like I say this about MJF right now, like in real life. If he made the jump to WWE, people say he'd be a main eventer. No, he wouldn't. There's too many big stars. He wouldn't even scratch the surface. He wouldn't even be on LA Knight's level. So, same thing with Tess though. Like there was too many big guys there. So it was hard for him to break through that ceiling because he didn't have that personality. In that era, in every era, there's no personality. There's no charisma. There's no mic skills. There's no nothing. And honestly, and that's what you get almost. You get almost.
I'm glad you said that because I was gonna kind of push back a little bit because that Test when you look at Test, especially in this era, you think you're like, this is the look. This is a guy that should be in this conversation. He has everything you want, but then you hear him talk and you see him as a character, and you're kind of like, now I get it. He is a guy who he's the one who puts guys above. He puts guys over. That's his role. Where MJF, is great in the ring. That's a look, can talk on the mic. I think MJF, despite what like a CM Punk, a bootleg MJF, a bootleg Miz, I think MJF would definitely. I mean, right? That's an automatic feud with Cody Rhodes. Like he'd be a superstar above it, but he's there in the basement in AEW. But anyway, that's
one thing to add real quick.
Yeah,
I think Tess WWE kind of missed his calling when Tess he should have had a feud with Triple H when when Triple H got with Stephanie and everything, and they just pivoted to the McMahon Hemsley era right then and there. So I kind of get what you were saying about Tess don't have like the charisma, personality to be a main event scene. I think that would have been the perfect opportunity to see what he has. I just feel like he never had gotten that shot, in my opinion. And this was before WrestleMania 17, so that would have been like a good opportunity to see if he had what it takes to be like in the main event picture at that time.
Yeah, his best program was with Shane McMahon.
Right.
That was like the best of Tess right there.
Right.
So.
There's so much I want to say about these comments. See, the thing that makes MJF so special is he can say the S word. He can do things. He can mock kids.
True.
When he goes to Disneyland or AKA WWE, half his characters nerfed. So that's my point, guys. Like he can't do these things in the WWE. Can't. So anyway, different topic for a different show. Dave Meltzer gave Eddie versus Tess for the WWF European Championship 2.25 stars.
2.25.
Of course. He's so good at that.
Now we get to
highest rated match of the card so far.
Yeah, it is. We get the women's title match. You get Chyna taking on Ivory. Chyna, of course, goes over on Ivory. I mean, basically, squashes her. I will say again, one thing I love about this show, and they did this for a while, especially during Ruthless Aggression, was the pre-match video packages. I love it. I love those things. I remember those were one of my favorite things about the show, because if you weren't, you paid attention to the main ones, but for whatever reason, if you didn't pay attention to the undercard or what, like the Chris Jericho Regal thing, that kind of got you ready to understand. You knew the story going in, and that's why it was so important to tell a story. You weren't just saying, "Hey, tonight we're getting Regal taking on Jericho." Like, but why? Why are they fighting? Like, what's the point? No, now you know why they're fighting, and I wonder who does that. But that's what I loved about this show. What happened? What's the matter? So they do this whole package with China and Ivory and China and the right to censor and how they first of all they made these rules about it's right to censor cannot interfere, and if for China some shit, it doesn't really matter. It never gave any kind of, it didn't matter anything for the match because it was so fast. But I'll tell you, man, China again, to me, what sucks is this is her last WrestleMania, because after this is when she gets fired and whatever. What a superstar, dude. She was a superstar. Like, you look at her, man, she's $1 million. And I think about, like, there had to be something you could have done to keep her. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, now in the history of professional wrestling, obviously WWE, Stephanie McMahon is one of the greats and whatever as a character and whatever she's done. 100%, I get it. But that whole thing, that ugly thing with the Triple H and China and Stephanie in the background, I get it. And then maybe you had to say, hey, let's take a break. But like China was like, this was she was a main event star. She was the, you think about the women today, especially the Rhea Ripleys of the world and what, like, that's the benchmark. And you watch how the crowd reacted. Like Josh, we said about it, listening to a show without the mic, without the crowd, and you're just watching, Sable. And I'm like, that's not bad for Sable. Like Sable, I think, man, she's pretty over. Not as over as China was. China was over. I mean, people like they were waiting for her to kick someone's ass, whether it was a guy or a girl or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's like, this was kind of bittersweet because I was like, damn, man. And then you watch the way how she carried the crowd, and then she handled Ivory, and you're like, she was athletic, she was strong, she had the look, and it's like, damn, this is going to be it. And now we're done with China. And basically she's persona non grata, because we know everything after. So bittersweet, still cool. China goes over. I enjoyed it. It was exactly what needed to be done. Shout out to Ivory. Ivory's one of the best in that era in regards of women. She knows how to put people over. She knew how to do moves. She has a great character too. Josh, what do you think of this one, man? Oh, 100%.
Cool. Like, when can we get to the good women's matches? And
sorry.
And what I mean by this is
I knew it.
like, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. What a waste of. And hold on, what a waste of China. You just said it. You said she's over. What a waste of her.
Sure.
You could have used her in any other capacity. Hell, take her and put her as the enforcer. Take Mick Foley out and put her in that match with the McMahons. Do something with her in a main event scene because she's money. You don't take money and just put her in a 2-minute match against a nobody. No disrespect to Ivory, but at that time they treated you like one. 2-minute match.
That might have to be an episode, Josh, because I want to talk about this more with China, because this might be have to sing, because I just don't understand. Like, I don't know, because we got to talk about like why Vince just said, okay, we don't need your services. Let's cut it out. And instead of trying to say, hey, we can't let business interfere with whatever, because he says that, but he did it anyway and cut China, who you would think at that moment in time, like you saw it, you could hear it. Everyone remembers it. She was the top, like she should be in the Hall of Fame right now by herself, not with DX, by herself. She should have her own wing. So that's a whole other conversation for another day, but that's like, damn, dude. Anyway,
as long as Stephanie and Hunter are part of that company, they'll never be. Once they get fired, eventually, because Triple H isn't going to be head of creative forever. This is no longer a family-sized business with Vince. And there's people making decisions, and if he starts struggling, they're going to find someone else. So once they go away, then I bet you she goes in. But I won't go too much longer on this. Just that's my whole point. Use your people well. If you have someone that's good at something, do not just say, hey, go in the back. Like if you have someone that can sell cars, you're not going, hey, go into finance and go be an assistant for the finance. No, go sell me some effing cars. China, go sell me t-shirts. Go get the crowd awake. Now, all she is, she was an entrance. And it sucks. All right, I'll let you guys talk.
But no, I actually enjoyed the story for this match and everything. I know you mentioned earlier about right to censor. Part of the match they had to be like banned from ringside. But another factor, a bigger factor than that, was at Royal Rumble a few months before that, China had it to where she injured her neck. Kayfabe injured her neck, and it was a serious thing at the time. Like kayfabe wise, it was like, oh, is she going to be like back at WrestleMania and everything, being 100% and things like that. So the fact that she squashed Ivory, I think it worked for her in a sense where it's like, dang, China is like, she's back to being her dominant self and everything. And like I said, sad to see what happened after that and everything. But I actually loved the result of this match. At the time I did. And so, yeah. And like I said, China was one of my favorite women wrestlers of all time. So it was a real good moment to see her win in my hometown. So I really marked out as a fourth grader in attendance for this match. I'm not even going to lie on that one.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was, I mean, the entrance, like you can see from the entrance, they called it the eighth wonder of the world. Ninth wonder? Right. Ninth wonder. Ninth wonder of the world. Come on, man. That's money right there.
Yep. Right.
So they could have, no matter what she would have did at this WrestleMania, it was going to go over well with the crowd. But, you know, could have gave her a longer match. I think she did what she was supposed to do, though. Go out there, squash Ivory. That she was nothing to China. So, but yeah, like everybody saying, man, it's sad to see what happened after this. But damn, man. And then you watch this, like rewatching this. I watched it twice. This in the last week and a half, and boy, like, you know, Miss China 100%, and definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. She was one of the greats. Big part of I'm sure all of our childhoods too. Right. So
absolutely,
yeah. R.I.P. China, man. But yeah, this was what it was, man. China went over, and you could tell she was kind of soaking this all in as well.
That's one thing I'll say too. And if you listen to some of her interviews after, and you know, just in time, the love she had for her friends, you know, the DX, and even for Paul Levesque, which is Triple H, and you know, she always spoke very fondly of everything when she looked back, and so you could tell like she loved that. So not, it's, you know, you think about, man, what she went through after, and I agree with Ryan. You watch those matches, and it's hard not to feel bittersweet about it, because you're like, what could have been, like, right. You know, imagine where she, you know, who knows what it would be today, but
right,
you know, when that happened with that situation with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, or Paul Levesque and Stephanie, you know, she didn't just lose that relationship and find out, oh, you know, he cheated and all this shit. She also lost her family, her second family. I mean, that was her normal. That was her, you know, and they basically stopped answering her calls. They stopped everything. And, you know, it's like, damn, man. It's like, and I don't want to hear, you know, oh, it wouldn't have worked. And, oh, McMahon could. No, but BS. The only reason why it did not happen was because Stephanie and everything else. Because Matt Hardy and Lita and Edge, that situation right there, that's money. This could have been money. Can you imagine if they would have figured it out and had this on TV, like Triple H, like the real relationship? Oh no, it was really China and Triple H, and now no, Stephanie and Triple H are real, and China tries to come after Stephanie, and she could actually kick Triple H's ass, and like that's TV, that's money, man. Like, how do you miss on that? You know, and if your daughter's doing that, then cut your daughter out. But to each their own. That would be a whole other episode. Maybe we'll all get together for that one. That would be a whole Dark Side of the Ring episode for that. I want to shout out though, right now, everyone who's tuning in, you're watching the WrestleMania Rewind series, WrestleMania 17 here on the No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, streaming live on FTSN on YouTube, or the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel on YouTube as well. Also on FinstockSportsNetwork.com and on social media. We appreciate it. We got over 120 people watching.
You son of a bitch.
Right. What did he say? What did he say?
Oh my God. He's so bad, bro.
You oh, come on.
You ain't right. You ain't right for that one, bro.
Come on, bro. Damn. Anyway, Josh is like,
Dave Meltzer, negative 1 star, by the way.
Negative 1.
Of course he
does. Of course, yeah. Squash matches. He doesn't like squash matches.
So, you know, but shout out for everybody who's watching live again. FinstockSportsNetwork.com is now live. You could go check the website out. Yes, articles, opinionated pieces, but all of Miami sports is on there. Of course, Dolphins, Heat, NBA, and NFL. We got great draft content, baseball, wrestling as well. You know, WrestleMania is, if you missed this episode, or, you know, if you watch it and you're like, I want to go to a recap or whatever, The recap will be live on FinstockSportsNetwork.com. There will be an article up there with everything we've discussed. And, of course, join the community there to talk wrestling, to talk sports, talk fantasy. We got it all there on the FinstockSportsNetwork.com. And check out the team photos. Josh looks like he wants to kill you. You know, I mean, I don't know if Josh saw his team photo. When I didn't think about it until later. So Josh was like, I'm like, damn, Josh. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to change this, or maybe not. Maybe I want people to be a little bit afraid of Josh, but
they should be.
They should be, man. He, when he starts talking trash about the women wrestling every time. So what do you think of this women's match? I hated it. Like I was waiting for them to get off. I was like, damn, Josh. It's like,
Josh Kimmel gives it -5 stars.
If you can't do it right, don't do it at all.
There you go. I agree.
I wish they would tell that to AEW. Now we go into the street fight. You got Shane McMahon taking on Vince McMahon, WCW owner or chairman taking on the WWF chairman. They show, I love when Shane comes out to the same music as his dad, and he comes out and he goes, "We got WCW guys, hey WCW," and he cheers at the crowd. And it's like, oh, those are WCW stars. No, they're not. What are we talking about? Like, what's up?
I got a lot to add about this match. I'll let Josh go.
Did we miss a match? Did we skip a match? I'm looking at the show results on the screen here. Did we skip in a match?
What did we skip?
I don't think we. We did skip a match. We skipped.
Kurt Angle and Benoit.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
Yeah, it was before the China match too, and I was like, I guess we're just gonna go.
Good catch.
Freaking Bobby likes to run in quick on China matches. So
I know why he did it. I know why he did it.
I'm like, okay, let's let him go. He's the host.
Hey, I did not do that on purpose. Can I just say,
leaving that man off the show?
I could get over one night in China. I can't get over what happened there. It had nothing to do with that. You know what's crazy? First of all, I can't believe I hate that I left that match off. It's I got WWE 2K26 and I downloaded, I have one of the universe modes, and Josh knows this is if had WCW 6 survived, and WWF was still around, but WCW survived and continued. And so what's cool is they have all those guys. So at first I had Benoit downloaded, and when my son found out kind of what he did, my son was like, Dad, I don't want to play him. I don't want him in here. I was like, you know what? You're right. I kind of felt like a douchebag. I was like, you're right. I'll take him off. My son started watching these WrestleManias, and he's watching the Attitude Era, and he's watching Bra and Panties, and oh shit. But hey, cool. But at the same time, like, oh man,
good on him.
But he told me, he goes, Dad, I kind of, because he walked in there and Kurt Angle, Benoit, and he goes, I'm telling you, Dad. He goes, Benoit's one of my favorites. He was really good. And I was like, he was. I was like, so he said, can we put Benoit? I was like, all right. And I don't know when I'm supposed to delete him because we have to go a certain number of years, and I'm gonna have to cut him off. And oh no, But anyway, that's not why I did it. And God rest their souls, not Benoit, but them. And but I'll tell you, man, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, easy. To think that Kurt Angle, just a couple of years before, was not even wrestling, and as a character, in-ring performer, the guy is like, when you kind of like Bret Hart. I love Bret Hart's analogy about what makes a superstar or a great wrestler, and he's, mic, look, body of work in the ring or whatever. And he was like, he would say like, I'm like a 5 in the mic, I'm about a 7 in the look, and I'm about 10 in the ring. Hogan's about a 10 on the mic, 10 on the look, 5 in the ring. Where Kurt, I think, was like, you could easily say 9, 8, 10, whatever. Like he was like, he had it. So, so to me, I hate that I left that match off. It wasn't on purpose. Maybe, you
got these results from WWE.com. I'm sure
I did. So I think now that I see it, yeah. But I'm a little mad. I'm pissed because I would have had to fix it. But but that was a great match. It was fun to watch. I could watch Benoit and Kurt Angle wrestle all the time. So let's go ahead and just run that one through. I'll start off with Josh, since Josh was the one kind of going, wait, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, I was wondering too.
I didn't mean to call you out. I did a bunch of research, and I'm like, I guess I'm throwing those out. It's like when Justin on my fantasy show is like, yeah, this whole Kyler Murray segment we planned for, throw it out the window. So I thought we were just throwing it out the window. Either way, this match was last second. This match was literally planned on the Raw before WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
and because Kurt Angle just lost his championship at Royal Rumble, so he had nothing to do. Literally nothing to do. Pretty much kind of like Kevin Owens. Remember when Kevin Owens was champion, lost his belt to Goldberg, and he had nothing to do? It was supposed to be Jericho and Kevin Owens. Either way. So Kurt Angle is thrown into a match with Chris Benoit. On Monday night, Chris Benoit makes him tap out, which we see Kurt Angle watching the video of him tapping out backstage before this match.
Right.
On SmackDown, though, which they don't show us, is Kurt Angle was making Chris Benoit tap out to the ankle lock on SmackDown. So that's the entire story of this match, is who's going to tap out. So I'm thinking like submission match, because I forgot. No submission match. Submission match would have made so much sense. But the finish was Kurt Angle rolls him up, holds the tights. Chris Benoit is mad because the story is Kurt Angle's an Olympic gold medalist. Nobody could out wrestle him. Well, Benoit did. So Kurt Angle had to cheat to not out wrestle him, but to cheat him. So love the story. Honestly, up to this point, the best story told at WrestleMania because of the whole, they were trying to get holes on each other. I was so engaged in this match. I forgot who won the match. It doesn't matter. To me, this was the best match on the card. There was no other match that touched this. Now, as far as importance, of course, the main event and everything else, importance-wise. But if I can go, hey, this is the match I would want to watch. If this is the only match I could watch, I'd watch this match. Just because of the nostalgia. And because, again, at the time, Benoit was one of my top guys. And he's in a main event, and not a main event angle, but a big match with a big guy like Kurt Angle, who was just a champion. It gave me a hope that Benoit is going to be champion eventually. So, love this match. I would give it 5 stars. Dave Meltzer decided to give it. What do you guys think?
3.5.
2.
4.25.
There you go.
Super low though.
Oh.
Better than any Will Omega match. Better than any Will Ospreay match. Better than any Kenny Omega match. Really, but they all get 5 stars. But this match is really good. Anyway, I'll let you guys speak.
Alfred.
Okay, so I had a few thoughts on this match as well. I thought it was a very good match. I gave it out of a scale of 1 through 10, I gave it an 8, which is pretty good. I disagree. I don't think it's the best match on the card. That's coming a little bit later on when we go down on this card list. But I love how Josh mentioned the fact when the match started off as, at first I thought it was going to be a traditional, like a standard technical wrestling match. And then I want to say Kurt Angle made it to where he got frustrated when Benoit was out wrestling him, and then it just turned into like a traditional, like a regular like type brawl and everything. So I enjoy that storyline part of that storytelling part of that match. One thing being in the crowd, Kurt Angle was hilarious. So when I'm not sure if y'all remember when he came down, he started bashing how the Texas flag missing the 49 stars, and he was like, lose the cowboy hats, we're not in 4th grade anymore. Like, that was funny as heck to me as a kid. So I enjoy, like, back then I enjoyed when Kurt Angle, the entertaining Kurt Angle. So I really enjoyed the match. And at the very end of the match, when they was interviewing Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle was the one that won, Chris Benoit ended up giving him the crippler crossface backstage, and he was tapping out and everything. So I enjoyed that part. So both of these guys put on a great match on the card. Angle is very entertaining. So that was my thoughts on the match. Very good one.
A great match. Benoit, great. One of the greatest technical wrestlers you probably ever see. One of the most aggressive wrestlers also. But yeah, it was real good. Kurt Angle, with his shenanigans, being a great wrestler as well. 5-star match to me. And probably should have been, you could have probably put this one later down the line, and it would have been even more important. But it was a good match. One of the best on the card for sure.
All right, moving on now to the street fight. Shane McMahon taking on Vince McMahon. We have Trish Stratus. We got Stephanie McMahon coming out with Vince. The mute comatose Linda McMahon. That's one of my so I hated that story. But that, and again, I want to reference the point about the WCW roster, when they called out the WCW roster, I just, you got Hugh Morris, you got Sean Stasiak, Palumbo.
And screw you, Stacey. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm about to say later on.
But I'll just say, I just laughed when he was like, when he goes, and I got the WCW crew here, and I'm like, come on, man, what are we doing, bro? Like,
Fucking bottom of the barrel.
you got the pre-show guys on there, dude. What are we doing, bro?
Yeah, Chavo and Lance Storm, and
Chavo, Lance. When you had Eddie, you got Perry Said, you got Dean Malenko, you got Benoit, you got Jericho, you got like the Big Show, you got all these guys there. Even that alone, you could have done it right from there. You could have been like, these guys are really WCW guys. They turn. But to start it off with that, it's kind of like, geez, man. It's like you knew right at the start. Like when I saw that, I'm like, no wonder they effed that up. Like, because you're watching this and you're seeing like Kane, Eddie, and you got these guys, and they're like, what do we? You had it. Even really Steven Regal in WCW at that, Chris Jericho. Like, if you're pointing out Hugh Morris, you're pointing out Chavo. You have Eddie. You don't go to Chavo. What's that supposed to do? Anyway, Shane. First off, Shane.
Eddie.
Yeah. Shane McMahon and Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon just not great in the ring. However, always entertaining. Those two are always entertaining. Shane, I have nothing but respect for Shane McMahon when it comes to in the ring. I mean, that guy tries, and he's fun. He's funny, entertaining. That's what it's about. He's an entertainer, and he does it. And I know guys have reading what wrestlers have talked about, saying that he's just one of the boys, and it shows. The way he works and carries himself. It was an entertaining match. This one, it's not one that you want to walk away from. It's one that you want to sit back and watch and kind of enjoy and see how far they're going to go. Of course, Shane goes over after the coast to coast, which was like ridiculous to think about someone like Shane McMahon doing that. But he does, and he does it great. Adrian, I'll start with you, my man. If you're ready, what's your thought on this match, brother?
Entertaining as hell. The story was absolutely hilarious. The match was hilarious because Vince can't wrestle for shit. But the story, man, Mick Foley being the ref, I don't know why. What the fuck was the point of that? But the part with Stephanie and Trish didn't really do nothing for me. But when he put Linda in the ring, that big pop when she stood up, Shane pointing to him, man, it was great. But yeah. And this was like right before the whole invasion stuff happened, which was probably like one of my favorite parts that happened a couple months after this. But the WCW thing, they didn't make it big enough. Like him being the owner of WCW. So
yeah, I know.
But it was a fun, entertaining match for sure. Linda McMahon, Jesus, acted her ass off because didn't budge at all that whole time. Oh, same look on her face the whole time, like she was just drugged up. It was crazy. So good on her for that. But yeah, this was fun. This was a fun match.
Alfred.
Okay, so I'm gonna break this match down like good and bad because I have like a few points to say on this one. So the bad, what I was saying earlier about Screw Stasiak, because the initial plan for this match was those WCW wrestlers that you referenced to. The reason why they showed them in a skybox because the original plan was for them to have a run in and help Shane beat Vince McMahon. But Sean Stasiak out of nowhere just gonna leak those plans and everything, and Vince was pissed off about it. For some reason, he was pissed off about it, so they had to like scrap the plans and everything in regards to that.
I like that. I like this ending better though, with the Linda.
With the Linda one? Oh yeah. That's what I was gonna mention on the good part. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. And everything. So the thing was the reason why Mick Foley was a special guest referee. I'm not sure if you recall, Adrian, or the listeners and everything. Mick Foley came back out of retirement when Triple H retired like a few years ago when he wrestled at WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania 2000. I'm sorry. And Mick Foley had a thing where he had in his contract a stipulation where it allowed him to referee a match of his choosing at WrestleMania. So that's why he decided to referee this match and everything. So that from a storyline factor, that's the reason why.
Should have been the hardcore match.
The hardcore, yeah, because he's the hardcore legend. That's understood as well. So the good part about the matches is I really enjoyed the double turn from Trish and Stephanie, because that definitely was a double turn. Because going to the match, Stephanie was the face at the time, and then Trish was the heel. And then they switched it up when Trish Stratus attacked Stephanie and everything. They switched the roles and everything. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And I'm not sure if you all caught it back before the match. It was kind of a prelude to what was going to happen later on in the show, when Michael Cole interviewed Vince, and Vince was like, "You want shocking? I'll give you shocking." Yeah. So I'm not sure. Younger me didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But as you get older, you putting two to two together and everything. So that was a nice touch as well. And the finish, like Adrian said, was very like, if that Sean Stasiak didn't spoil everything, this finish was still great. Because this is the very first time that we saw the coast to coast, and seeing it in person was great, because everybody literally was on their feet, like right next to me, and I had real good seats back then. So when he performed that for the very first time, it was amazing. And like you said, given Shane's status, he's not like a real like great wrestler, but he tries hard and everything, and I commend him for that. And Linda's, when she rose up out the seat, Linda's literally like, that was the second biggest pop of the night. Obviously, we already know what's number one coming later, but that was the second biggest pop of the night when she stood up and everything. So I enjoyed the street fight. The only bad thing I had was when Sean Stasiak had to run his mouth in. Small. Everything.
Where is he now?
That's a good question. That is a very good question.
Josh.
Yeah, so pretty much broke it down. Everyone broke it down, but I did some research on this, and maybe if anyone heard this, because you asked and I already had it. Mick Foley was supposed to be the person fighting Vince. It was supposed to be Mick Foley, and he didn't want to do it because he wanted to honor his retirement, or he didn't get cleared. I forgot which one. Didn't write that part down, but one of the two. He was supposed to be in the match. It's a fun match. Look, you go. Sometimes you watch movies like Mortal Kombat 2, and you don't expect anything except for just fun, which I did last weekend. Whenever I was feeling sad, boom, Raiden, Kung Lao. It was awesome. That's this.
It was.
That's this. This is just like, oh, look at the man's being idiots in front of everybody.
Right.
And you're right. One of the biggest pops of the night was Linda stepping up, because her acting, you talk about, what do they say? These cinematic, or what do they say when Roman does his, whatever he does, cinematic. This was, because Linda didn't budge. She didn't budge, dude. It was crazy. Even on that chair, like, you're that old, your back don't hurt from sitting like in that wheelchair. Like, you don't want to give, that's
like one eye down like this.
Yeah, it was great. When Vince hit Mick Foley with the chair in the back, 100% missed his spot. You guys see where he hit Mick in the head with the hard spot?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Mick! What a boss he is. Still got up and did his thing. But you know what? The WCW final, like, if that happened, if those jobbers ran in to help Shane win, what a flop! What a freaking flop, man! Because Linda, that was the redemption. Vince getting, his comeuppance on Linda. Like, Linda, that was the only way we can do it, with Trish, of course, helping out. I had fun in this match. Dave Meltzer did not. Well, he's had 3 stars, but I had fun. I had it more than that. I think. Yeah,
he gave this higher than most matches. Damn.
Yeah. I think it's because he didn't expect. I wish I had the write up, but it's because Shane did so much. He jumped through the table. He did the coast to coast. He was taking crazy bumps. Like, Shane was a warrior out there.
Yeah, he carried the match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now we get into one of the most famous matches of all time. The TLC tag title match, TLC II, right? Officially 2, even though the other one was called a triple threat ladder match. This one's now called TLC. And again, same conversation that we had about WrestleMania 16 or WrestleMania 2000. These 3 guys, or these 3 teams, six guys, the chemistry between all six of them, all of them, every single one, Devon, Bubba, Jeff, Matt Hardy, Edge, Christian, it's bar none. I mean, the way they were like, that's what tag team wrestling is supposed to be. Everyone, the two guys, the two teammates complement each other, and they complement the team that they're going against. It's not a bunch of just randos put together. No, this is legit. Like, oh, there's the Hardy Boys, there's the Dudley Boys, here's Edge and Christian. You know, and it's crazy to think now about tag team wrestling compared to what it was then. Like, I'm sorry, there's no tag team that touches these guys at all. You know, I know they said about, and I love the Usos, you know, and as just individuals, but as tag teams and whatever. But like, Usos, the New Day, greatest tag teams of all time. No, they're not. Not that they don't touch these guys. You know, respectfully. I mean, there's nobody in professional wrestling. And you think about it, these guys, you know, the tag team wrestling holds a guy back. Not really. I mean, look what it did for Edge and Christian, and look what they were in their careers. Edge, what he became after he was in the tag, he became one of the, you know, hottest stars in professional wrestling in WWE. Christian, you know, won a world championship in WWE, but went to TNA, became Christian Cage, and now, you know, what he did, now the work he's done in ECW and AEW. Even Bubba Ray as Bully Ray in TNA. You know, the work he did there with Ace and Spades, and in the Hardys, like you said, Jeff Hardy winning the WWE Championship, and like that was the springboard to single success. But it didn't start until what they were able to do as tag team guys, because any of these guys started on their own. You look at them all and you take them all, separate them from their guy, separate them from this team's. You know, you could easily say, mid card, low card, whatever. You put them together and what they were able to do to get the fans to fall in love with all of them, and the way they put these match, like I could watch that match over and over and over again. And the shout out to Rhino, shout out to Spike Dudley for not just, you know, you Lita, you know, they weren't just of course Lita, but they weren't, you know, a lot of times you go, oh my God, that's overbooked. Oh, they don't need to be there. Like, you didn't need to have them. We saw these six guys go at it already, and they had a great match, and they were having a great match again. But those other three put that match way over. Like, they were not in the way. They made that match more entertaining. And so I can't say enough about this match. Edge and Christian go over. I think they won the first one too, right? So if I remember, did they? So, you know, which it's fine. That's fine. But still, I think you could have gone with any one of these guys, any one of these teams, and been totally okay with it. So, Josh, I'll start off with you, my man. What did you think of TLC 2?
Empire Strikes Back. T2, Judgment Day. Right? How many times does a sequel, Back to the Future 2, to me at least, how many times does the sequel outdo the original? Not many. Not many. This one did. Even, you know, we're going to talk about it later on with Shawn Michaels and Taker, right? That, to me, is better is the first one as well. Not many matches can say that. They can't go, hey, man, they had this amazing match. Let's see if they can do it again. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. They did it again. And it's harder because they had furniture and tools and ladders and everything around them, and everything had to go right, and nobody can get hurt in the middle of the match. Like, there were so many things. Like when Edge did his spot where, you know, it's going to be on highlights forever, where he spears Jeff Hardy pretty much through the mat. Like, I'm sure Jeff Hardy's imprint is still there in that ring. It's insane. And the way Bubba Ray Dudley, which isn't shown on the highlights, had to perfectly pull him and release him at the right time for Edge to time that up. Like, there were so many things that could have gone wrong. Botches, right? They didn't have many botches in this match. How many ladder matches do we see now where we see Penta have someone lined up for a Mexican Destroyer? He's looking, are you ready? But they don't say it, you know, but they want to get it unison. No, these guys look natural. Ladder matches now looked, everyone's waiting for their, he did a spot, I can do my spot now. They didn't have that. Everything seems so fluid, man. It was so, if you guys haven't gone back to watch this match in a while, go do it if you're watching me right now, because the ladder matches these days, everything is formulaic, everything is scripted, everything is just predictable. Oh, when's EO gonna put the trash can and do her thing? Everything is just always. But we didn't know Jeff was going to pull out this ladder, that when he was on top of the ladder to do the swanton on Spike, I forgot who was it, Ryan? I don't forgot who else was on that table.
I think
He
it
was
was
taller.
Ryan.
Spike.
I know Spike was there because he got hurt for
was
real
Spike.
life.
Yeah.
I don't know who the other person was. But when he was on top of that ladder, he was taller than the other ladders that were in the
Rhino.
ring.
Rhino.
It was Rhino? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That's there wasn't 50 referees holding the ladder, making sure it was stable, like we see in 2026. He just did it. That's what made this match special.
He caught Jeff Hardy caught him with the elbow. His elbow got
Yeah.
in the chest
Yeah.
or something, or in the rib
Yeah,
cage.
I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, to Spike. I saw, and you could see it
Yeah.
too. We were watching the replay. I kept looking because I saw Spike Dudley. He even looked.
Yeah.
He even kind of checked himself, and I think he checked his lip too. I think it was something he just busted himself up. So, just the spots that those guys were able to do, and the chemistry they had, and the way they all trusted each other to get and do the best for the match. I mean, that's what I say. Like, hey, it's WrestleMania. You're doing your best. This is the time to steal the show, and they did. They stole the show that people are still talking about. TLC 2. Alfred, man, your thoughts?
In my opinion, this match stole the show. This, in my opinion, this is the best match on the card, and it's a good thing that the gimmick battle royal followed this, because if Undertaker and Triple H and if this was before those two matches, I think the crowd would have got restless for those other two matches. So it's a good thing that they have this gimmick battle royal right afterwards. And like I said, this match should be in the Hall of Fame. I know Devon mentioned this a while back when they started doing these matches in the Hall of Fame now. This match should be next up to be in the Hall of Fame. Heck, it's even a pay-per-view named after TLC. So based on this match, because these six men elevated, from their previous match, TLC match, and that was a good match. And this match was topped out one. So and even like what you mentioned earlier, with Spike, Lita, and Rhino, they served a purpose in that match, and that was a great thing as well, because like I said, this match stole the show, and I can't say any negative thing about this match. Everything, like the bumps, even the bumps that we mentioned, everything. The one where Bubba Ray fell on all those tables, like outside the ring and everything. Those bumps are memorable. Like, we remember those bumps, like to this day. We remember, hey, this happened during the TLC 2 match. When Edge did the spear on Jeff Hardy and everything, Bubba Ray, like they talked about that spot like a few hours before the show even started. I remember when Bubba Ray was on Stone Cold's podcast, and he mentioned it. Like, they literally was talking about that the day of, and they nailed it. So I enjoyed the TLC 2 match. One of my favorite matches of WrestleMania, period. But this match definitely stole the show.
Adrian?
Yeah, so just sick, legendary, really. 6 professionals that just absolutely killed it, tore the house down. Rhino, Spike, Lita. I agree with everybody. They served a purpose. They weren't in the way. The big spots, Jeff and Edge, Jeff off the top of that tall ass ladder, Bubba, Matt Hardy going through all those tables on the outside. It was all good. I don't got nothing bad to say about this. And this was my era right here. When we were doing backyard wrestling, this was TLC matches all the damn time outside. I'm talking about find a ladder, find a shopping cart, because we'll use that as a turnbuckle too. And we going, boys, we going. We used to ride around finding like old plywood, all type of shit, man, to recreate TLC matches. So it was always and these 6 guys are the reason, man. It's a legendary match. Those 6, I like how Josh said how clean the match was. You'll never see a cleaner ladder match than that, or TLC match than that, probably ever again. So good on.
So talk about kind of like, and this is why I felt like as I was watching this show, and I think this sealed the deal for me, was like kind of like, this is the passing of the torch. This is going from one era to another era. We never really got that from the golden era to the attitude era, and then now it's attitude to ruthless aggression eventually. But we kind of get that passing of the torch of the golden era to this new form of wrestling with the gimmick battle royal.
Josh's favorite match. This is Josh's favorite match.
Yeah, Mean Gene and Bobby Heenan showing up, and Bobby Heenan, when he goes, So he says something. He goes, "All right, Tony," and you see like he goes, "Tony." He's like, "No, you're not WCW anymore, bro. This ain't Tony Schiavone." You know, and he goes, "I'm just pulling your leg." No, you weren't. But just to see see all the old guys kind of come in, and Josh knows this. He's been doing this a while with me now. I love those guys. I pop for them, so I enjoyed it. You know, it went by fast. So I don't think the Sheik should have won. It should have been Slaughter. Not Slaughter. Who was the other one? The one who's actually kind of in shape.
Hillbilly dude.
Hillbilly, yeah, he should. He got a pop, man. He was popping.
Oh, he did.
I went nuts for him, man.
That's Texas, bro. Come on.
Yeah, but
Hillbilly. It was funny because
come on.
It was funny about this match. I was actually like you know how we mentioned earlier, we were joking around about the bathroom breaks and everything and the advertisement. So this match, I was telling I went to WrestleMania with my grandpa and my father and my grandpa. So I was telling them, I was like, I need to get me something to eat around this time because it's the last 2 matches after this, and I need to, so I got me an Astrodome. But anyway, I didn't see much Battle Royal match. When I got back, I saw that Iron Sheik won. Curious to see why he won everything, and as I got older, I realized, because he physically can't go over the top rope and everything. That's the reason why they allow him to win and everything. And Slaughter comes back, but this match is one of the rare instances where watching a match is better than watching it in person, because only thing I remember about this match that sticks to me is the commentary. Like Bobby Heenan is freaking hilarious on the commentary during this match. And especially when Iron Sheik came out and he was like, by the time he gets to the ring, it'll be WrestleMania 38. Like that's one of the funniest lines for Bobby Heenan I ever heard from Bobby Heenan and everything. So that's my thoughts on the gimmick battle royal match.
I love Bobby.
All I could think about was eat your heart. Roman Reigns says, "Eat your heart out, Sheik." I take 10 minutes to get to the ring. So can I add to the gimmick? I just want to say 2 things. Yeah. Boring. Bobby Heenan saved it. Mean Gene, the real MVP, was the person who slid that paper to Mean Gene. Here are the wrestlers. Here's their names, and here's some notes. Because you could tell Mean Gene was like, "I'm a backstage guy. Why are they having me do? Why didn't they do that?"
I don't understand why they did that. They should have just put Bobby Heenan. Maybe they allow Mean Gene to introduce them in the ring, have the microphone, and introduce them as they can instead of Howard Finkel, and had Bobby Heenan with Paul Heyman, which that would have been. Which I love. Paul Heyman said it. He goes, "The greatest manager after me." He said, he's like the greatest manager. Bobby Heenan, and now of course Paul Heyman's like, "I'm the greatest of all time." There's nobody. But I would have loved to hear those two on the microphone together, because
I take that back. The most memorable line of that match, looking back at it, was the one when Repo Man came out and Mean Gene was like, about 5 years ago, he got my mother-in-law's car. And then Heenan responds back, it was like, about 4 years ago, everybody got your mom. Oh my God.
Bobby was so good, dude. He was so quick. You could tell compared to what he dealt with at WCW towards the end with himself, and he had to leave. You could tell he was happy. Like, I wish they would have figured something out with him. And it sucks how it all ended up for him with cancer and everything. But he was so good, dude. I could listen to him all the time. And again, I'll go back to Paul Heyman and Jim Ross. Like, those two were like really good together. But Josh knows I love the gimmick battle. I thought it was funny, dude. I enjoyed
it. It was fun, but it
was a get it over with,
Meltzer gave it
went by fast.
Dud.
Yeah.
D-U-D.
Yeah.
Meltzer's a dud.
He also gave the TLC.
It wasn't meant to be.
Sorry.
What do you give TLC?
What do you think?
He probably gave that a negative score.
4.
I'm gonna say 4.5.
4.5. Man, you guys are low. 4.75. Come on, man.
Right.
He has to acknowledge that was a good match. Like,
what it is, because they were doing they were doing those little twists. He loves the little twist in the air. He loves it. Once they did the twist, he's like, "Oh, that's a star." Oh, they flew. That's another star. You're like, okay, dude, sit down. Now let's go. It's crazy to think about it. If nobody really remembers too well, really, this Undertaker Triple H match. Because you had the two that came one after the other. You had Shawn, and you had Triple H towards the end.
of
their careers. but you don't think about it. It's like, holy crap, Triple H wrestled Undertaker 3 times at WrestleMania, and this was the first time American Badass Taker was here. You had Triple H coming out to the Motorhead song. The guys were singing, and which was really cool.
Horrible.
Just play the song.
Horrible performance. Not a good performance.
That performance was
just
horrible.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
it didn't match you word for word at all. But I'll tell you, somebody with Triple H who was the heel. Like, this is why, like, when and we had the discussion, but like when they were like, oh, he's a utility guy, he was just like, no, Triple H was a star, dude. That was like, that's super. He's a great heel. But let me tell you, man, that match was entertaining. That was a fun match. Taker and Triple H, they go up the stage. They
go through the crowd.
They go through the crowd, and then I just love it. He choke slammed him on the floor, and it's like you see the mat pop up, the little cushion, like. Come on, bro. You still could have said, well, he choke slammed him on some of the salad pads, but it's like, but either way, entertaining match. Those two had great chemistry together. Obviously, I'll tell you what, Josh. I think I said, because you were saying none of the Taker matches impressed you. I always said the Diesel and Taker match was my favorite one out of the early ones. This one I think kind of took that part. I think Taker and versus Triple H is right there with Diesel Triple H.
Yeah, there's a couple things that stand out at WrestleMania 17. The main event and everything, but Limp Bizkit's one of them. Like, I was 15 years old. Like, Korn, Limp Bizkit, those were my 2 favorite bands of all time.
Chocolate Star.
Yeah, it will just before
that
like
was the greatest album.
You're crazy, but it's okay. Because I was a little bit older. I'm a little bit older than you, so like at that time, I'm like, what are they doing? Like, this is the shit. Like,
at
go back
time?
to your old days.
Oh my god!
I know at that time. Anyway,
best.
but so I love. They were. You can tell everyone had their WWE, WWF music album. They always plugged it, right? So they were big on like get their music out, right?
Yeah.
I hated the American Fat Ass Undertaker. I hated this version. I hated it so much. And I hated it at the time. And I'm like,
you hate America.
I hate him. You are not. Who are you? A biker? A dead biker? I didn't understand his gimmick at this point. I don't think he understood his gimmick. I think he just was like, oh, everyone's like going edgy and everyone's having this rock music. So Limp Bizkit's pretty cool right now. Let's go rolling. I'm gonna drive him. I didn't understand it. And then I think he got Kid Rock later, which was even the worst.
That was first. That was first.
Oh, it was first. Okay, all right. Either way, I'm missing out my time.
That was the worst one out of the 2.
American Badass.
Yeah, that one was horrible.
Horrible. But so all that being said, you add the American Fat Ass, as I called him as a teenager.
Jesus,
because that was the worst shape he's been in a long time. You look at his match. But Triple H carried this match. Triple H made this match entertaining. I'm not going to say this was Undertaker's best match at WrestleMania, but it was, because Triple H, to your point, is not a utility player. He's a main event guy. And everything he did in there, I'm like, oh, that's it. I love his move where he grabs you and just takes his face and puts it on your knee. So simple, so fluid, so smooth. One of the best spine busters in the game. One of the best everything in the game. He is the game. I didn't appreciate Triple H back then because I hated the Reign of Terror. I wanted Jericho. When Jericho won that title on Raw and he won it for like 5 seconds, the Earl Hebner fast count, I hated Triple H for real life because of that.
Yeah.
I hated him. I'm going back and watching his match and going, he was better than Rock and Austin in my eyes. I loved his mic work. I loved his evil story. I loved his body, his look. He looked like he looked like a Motorhead. He looked like someone who's going to crush you. I'm in love with Triple H now. So I enjoy this match specifically because of Triple H. All right. That's it.
Alert. I'm going to say this. I want to say, my favorite versions of Undertaker, I did enjoy the American Badass. I did enjoy the American Badass Taker. He was fun for me. I liked kind of the change. Corporate, the Ministry of Darkness Taker out of the like the Dark Side Taker. That was my favorite Taker. But Big Red, when he when he was that Reign of Terror, when he was going through the WWE Raw, I think, and he was just terrorizing everybody, beat Jeff Hardy, and I'm gonna make you famous. You're in my yard, and Like that was a fun Taker, man. It was different. I love, so I respect Josh's opinion. I get it. But for me, no, I love the American Badass Undertaker. He was one of my favorite. I use him more than I use the Dead Man, which is surprising because you would think that Josh, who hates that type of version of guys, the whole paranormal guys, that he prefers Paranormal Taker over the American Badass.
Only a few can make it work.
He made it work.
And he was one. Yeah, he made the Dead Man work. He makes that work. Whereas Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, silly. Whereas Taker, you was he alive? Is he not alive? Like what you had that mystique about him. Where Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, was just he was Texas Chainsaw Massacre superhero.
I would always say I prefer, even though I love the look of the Fiend. I think it's a cool, it's a badass look. They misused that character. It was a terrible use of the character. Bray Wyatt, the cult, Charles Manson leader, Everglades.
Yes.
Look, that was prime time TV. That should have been the way it always had been, but they went, which is okay because Bray Wyatt was so great as a storyteller, and he wanted to. I respect it, and again, I love the look of the Fiend, but the red ring, the all that extra, so you can't barely see anything. Horrible. Like I always go back to, and I wish they had that version in WWE. They don't. They have the recent version, they have the Fiend, every version of the Fiend, but they don't have Wyatt family Bray Wyatt because that's the one I always play with. I don't see he's not in there. Josh, am I crazy?
Wild, bro.
Is he in the season pass? I don't buy the season pass.
I've not seen him. I have not seen. I have the season pass. I don't see him. They have the recent version. They have the burnt version of the Fiend. They have the current Fiend or the original Fiend, but they don't have Everglades. I call Everglades.
That is original Bray Wyatt.
They don't have the OG Bray, and like if they did, I'd be playing with him all the time, man. So I understand that. I know Brett has brought that up in the past, and I mean Josh has brought it up in the past, so I wanted to hit on that.
Meltzer 3.5 stars to Triple H Taker. By the way, 3.5 stars.
Me personally, I wasn't a huge fan of this match. If we being honest, because I'm gonna tell you several reasons why, but. I really enjoyed the American. That's my favorite version of Undertaker, to be honest. The American Badass. It allowed him to be himself in a sense, especially around that time. Back then, we wasn't how it is now, where we can easily go on social media and Wikipedia and things along those lines. So when he first announced, when I first found out he was from Houston around that time and everything, it made this match even more intriguing to me because it's he's coming out to Limp Biscuits rolling and everything, and he's from Houston. He said he went to he grew up in Houston. He's from Houston, everything. So when he came out and everything, it made the crowd even go crazy because I don't think the crowd would have popped if he was Dead Man Undertaker. But the fact that it was announced that he's from Houston, it made it even bigger. Like the pop was even bigger and everything. So I didn't really enjoy the match because. One, it was a singles match. It wasn't a no DQ, no count on everything. They spent the majority of time outside the ring. And it's I know the ref Kyoto and everything was knocked out and everything, but I know why would they didn't have count out, no count outs or anything like that. And then when they eventually got in the ring, that's when, HHH used the sledgehammer and everything and all that stuff. But I just thought, like I said, I thought the match wasn't advertised as being real great. With these two guys and everything, in my opinion.
I want to say too, again, another one of my pet peeves that I absolutely hate when it comes to referees. I told Josh and Adrian, Alfred, you guys let me know, but one of my biggest pet peeves in wrestling is when the guys, we see it with Oba, and we all love Oba. I'm sure I love Oba. But when he attacking the police, when the cop, he's attacking the cops. Lester's done it. They all done it. I'm like, let's be real. I want to see one time the cops just turn around and start beating them. And let's be real. You never see that. All of a sudden the cops get thrown. He didn't go to jail. What are we doing? But one of my other pet peeves is how fragile the referees are. You get a love tap and you're out for 10 minutes, dude.
That's what it makes me appreciate Earl Hebner better. Because
I hate that about wrestling, man.
Yeah,
they are not wrestlers. They're just regular guys.
Right.
All right.
Oh, if you got love tapped, you'd get right up to.
Dude, if you got love tapped by the Undertaker, 325 pounds,
not
brother.
Like that, bro.
No, hold on.
You're minutes on the floor, bro. Get up, dude.
You're missing something, man.
Story.
Taker sold it. He actually went back to a dead referee and made sure he died.
I know.
even
No,
more
I'm not
elbow
talking
drop.
about. I'm just talking in general. I'm not talking about the elbow drop. I know what Taker did, and I love it. Taker got, Taker was which is
Yeah, you're gonna
hilarious
be
because
out for a
like,
while.
who was the good guy? Who was it? Wasn't Taker? Taker, Taker fucking laid him out again. It's like, damn. But it's what I'm just bringing up. One of my pet peeves is the stupid referee bump. It's the dumbest, stupid thing.
Hey, NFL Dolphins, if you're watching, knock out all the referees, go off sides, roughing the passer.
Hell
When the
yeah.
referees are knocked out, the NFL can't do anything.
That's
Simple as
Full
that.
heel.
No, they
Dolphins
pick
full
and
heel.
choose because
I
they'll
love
come
it.
out and go, the match has reversed. I was like, wait, how can you pick and choose when? Anyway, but now we go on to the main event.
We definitely have a different opinions on this match. I can already tell.
So, and I'm gonna start with Josh and then Adrian and then Alfred because I want Alfred.
Okay.
I know is cooking. He's cooking. He wants to hit
Mhm.
this off. But again, these two, these guys were the pillars of this era, right? Austin, Rock, like if John Cena and John Cena and CM Punk say the wrestling soulmates, these two were wrestling soulmates. Like when you think about that WrestleMania where Rock came out, well, first John came out solo, Rock came out. It should have been Austin, not Taker. That would have been the perfect icing on the cake when Cody beat Roman. If it was Austin because these two are just bread and butter. So this was the second of the three of the trilogy, and they're so good with each other. They're and the way they told the story, but you kind of saw, I love how they dropped it at the very beginning. They're like, this is a non-DQ match, and they're like, wait, what
Yeah.
the hell did that happen?
You can hear Heyman
Even the
like under his
commentators
breath,
said,
like,
yeah.
huh? Like, yeah. So
Yeah, I love that.
do
Like
tiny
that's like
quirks.
way like they didn't just throw it out. They're leaving it to the that's what I love about wrestling. Then with the commentary, it's like they spoke for the fans because we were kind of like, wait, who? And like these guys are both baby faces. This is not heel, and Josh hates that, right? Josh hates baby versus baby, so so it's like you're going to this match, you're like, okay, these guys are both baby faces. But as the match went on, first off, Rock was booed. He was booed when he was coming out. The fans saying, "Oh, it's Houston." They're favoring Austin. Well, he got booed again against Hogan the year later. So and obviously we know where this kind of goes. But Austin really came up like a little by little. You saw the writing on the wall. Like now, especially as you're older and you're watching this, you're like, "Oh, he's teasing the shit out of being a heel. Like he's leading this on." Different, getting upset, and then all of a sudden here comes Vince McMahon, and why is McMahon here? Which I think they could have done better. Obviously, the crowd was loving it. They were not hating on it at all. They were cheering it. They were excited. Maybe the wrong time, maybe the wrong place. I know Austin regrets this turn. I mean, he's like, man, I should have never done it. Blah, blah. No, it's okay to take risks, and I think Austin as a heel after this was fun. I loved when when he played the guitar, and I was like, what kind of Austin is this? But this was Austin Rock. It was a fun match. The turn was not great. Nobody really understood what was going on. The crowd was cheering. The only one who seemed to be upset by that situation was Vince McMahon. Not Vince McMahon, excuse me, Jim Ross. This son of a bitch. Hey, turn. I was like, okay, Jim, take a pill, chill out, but still, he was the only one. The whole crowd, they started clapping and cheering, like they wanted Austin to win the belt. And that's when you're like, maybe you should have went Rock here. Maybe Rock should have been the heel, when you do the switch. But they didn't. They went with Austin. They should have saved this for Backlash, which really sucks because it shouldn't be Backlash. But it's just Houston was the wrong spot to do this turn. It had to be somewhere else because Houston loves Austin. But anyway. I'll go ahead. I'll start with Josh and then Adrian and then Alfred because he already kind of he's like, we're going to disagree here. So I'm fired up. Josh, your thoughts?
I hope I don't steal Alfred's thunder, but you kind of said it a little bit. I'm not going to say it's the worst heel turn of all time because there's many others that didn't stick, but most disappointing and most telegraphed. And yeah, I'll say, top 3 worst heel turns of all time. It's not because of the person. It's not because of the spot. It's not because of the location. It's not because of any of that. It's because of how obvious it was. He worked heel the entire match from the get-go, from the start. Austin was the heel. He was the aggressor. He cheated. He did everything because the thing was he just wanted the title no matter what. That was his goal, but he worked heel the entire match. And when Vince came out, they have this whole match and they do this thing and Rock's getting beat up many minutes of this match. They do each other's finishers, which is cool. I'm not going to say this is a bad match because it wasn't a bad match, but the heel turn was so bad. You get Vince to come out. Automatically, there's no mystery of why he's there. There's no, what's Mr. McMahon doing out here? What are his motivation? We know it right away. He takes the Rock off, and you're thinking, okay, so Austin's been working heel for the last 29 minutes or so. He's been heel the whole time. Vince is clearly rooting against Rock. I guess we're turning. I guess they're partners now. That's the only assumption you could have come up with. So when the end happened and they do the thing, it's like, yeah, no shit. Yeah, this happened. We saw this happening 39 minutes ago. So that's how long the match was. Yeah, I know. We saw this. Like, it's like, it's just like when something happens, like if, I don't know, like my son throws a piece of glass on the ground and I step in it and I'm like, how'd that get there? No, well, I saw him do it. It's obvious. I saw him do it, actually. I actually stepped in it. Like, I knew this was going to happen. That's what this heel turn was. It was the most obvious. And I didn't even need to watch weeks of television leading up to this to know this. I just saw Austin's face and that's why I was so upset about it. It wasn't John Cena, where he worked babyface the entire Elimination Chamber. And he had that heel turn at the very end when he took advantage.
Yeah.
When he took advantage at the very end, you're like, oh, that's not like Cena. But Austin did it the entire match.
That's fair. I like
which made the whole match so bad to me, like the whole turn.
I love that you say that because you think of worst heel turn of all time. People, oh, John Cena. Well, no, we're talking about turn, not the run. Because this was a terrible heel turn because the crowd was behind him, and even though, like you said, you saw throughout the match. Wait a second, where Rock was still playing the babyface, even though he got booed. Austin was getting cheered, but Austin was playing the role of heel. Where John Cena, that heel turn is the turn itself will go down as one of the best just because of the moment, the nut kick, and whoa, holy crap, and like you said, that one when he took advantage of CM Punk, and started like, that's not Cena. Cena would have waited. So I love that you said that. That's a great point.
Great point.
Adrian, on you, man. What'd you think of this match and the turn?
Yeah, you kind of seen Austin was gonna be healed that the entire story. Because he kept saying, I need to beat you more than I needed anything in my entire life. So he's gonna do whatever is possible to win the title. And Rock kind of always was working baby the whole time. They teased a couple times like him, but mostly Rock was baby that entire story. But I loved the match. It was a finisher fest. Toward the end, it got a little, but then Vince coming out, big shock for if you didn't watch the entire, if you didn't watch it weekly, it was a big shock. It was, oh my God, no, Stone Cold's gonna, but if you watched it, you were like, oh, okay, we know what's happening. But I don't know, man. I thought it was a great match. I thought great moment. And Rock and Stone Cold are up here for me. So it was a really good match. Top off that WrestleMania with the big shock for most people. And it went down like Jim Ross sold the shit out of the heel turn also.
He did.
That made it really good too.
Alfred.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Alfred.
All right, so this is my thoughts on the finish. So the entrances per se, like the Disturbed theme song by Stone Cold is by far my favorite theme song of Austin. And I listen to this day almost religiously. So when he came out, when I say this was the biggest pop for entrance I ever seen in my life, it might be in history, in my opinion, because you got to realize when he came out, all those flashes and everything, when he was doing his little thing and everything, that was amazing seeing it in person. So you can on TV, it was amazing. So imagine seeing it in person. And this is
real cameras.
This is equivalent to when, if say if you all watch college football, to the listeners at home, if the Texas Longhorns played for the national championship here in Houston, and they played a team like Indiana, they the champion, like the reigning champion and everything, Texas obviously is going to get the majority of the home crowd because it's in Texas. So the ratio already was set up for The Rock to even lose this match. We knew that going in, The Rock was going to lose. So in my opinion, I disagree with all y'all. I enjoyed the heel turn because one, at that time, I think Austin needed a fresh character per se. And two, a lot of people when I was leaving Astrodome, a lot of people thought it was more so Vince turning face than Austin turning heel, in a sense. So I think the heel turn was great at the time because, like I said, I was in 4th grade. Obviously, probably for the most part, I was if a face turned heel, I was like booing or like being emotional and things like that as a younger me. This was the first time ever where I cheered for a heel. For a heel, like when they turned heel, a face turned heel. And I wasn't the only one. Like a lot of people enjoyed it when they was at the Astrodome. So I enjoyed the heel turn and everything. It was a shock factor in a sense because nobody expected him to align with Vince. After all the feud they've gone through in the previous years and everything. So I thought it was executed perfectly, to be honest. So that's why I disagree in that sense and everything. But the match, in my opinion, it was the second best match of the night after TLC 2, because my only gripe is it shouldn't have taken 10 chair shots to beat The Rock. Literally, if you would have stunned him one more time, it could have been the reason why you would have won, in my opinion. I don't think the 10 chair shots was
that was the point though, right? Overkill.
It was 7.
Make sure you did.
I get that 100%, but I just feel like you already, did most of the damage to Rock anyway and everything. I think another stunner would have been enough for me, in my opinion. But I get why they did the 10 chair shots and everything. But I enjoyed the heel turn, Austin turning heel and everything. That's probably the one and the only, the one time as an early age that I was cheering for him because he's, like I said, he's from the area. So, and Austin's my favorite wrestler of all time. So that's my thoughts on the match and everything like that. In my opinion,
could not go to sleep after this.
Right. Right. The greatest entrance ever, in my opinion, pop wise, a wrestler coming out was that Austin entrance.
That song too. Oh, banger.
Too, so.
Didn't they kind of turn Austin into a comedy act after this too? That kind of
after during the invasion era,
invasion,
or right after that, right?
Yeah, before
around that.
I know his body was banged up and everything, but come on, man, you don't do that.
And then it kind of messed up. It kind of messed him up because The Rock was filming Scorpion King at the time. So when him and Triple H did that 2-man power trip and everything, I enjoyed that one as well too. So I enjoyed the heel turn initially when it happened.
Yeah. Again, I'm totally cool with the switches, and again, I always try to look at the bright side of Austin. When he did the comedy thing, I used to, I thought he was funny when he would,
why,
what, and he'd sing, and then Vince McMahon's kind of where's the old Austin? Is the one who kicked your ass. That's what you want, I just remember that was when I was really starting to watch WWE because WCW was gone by then. But Josh, you had a point.
Yeah, this is maybe not. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, then this won't make sense. But once his brother-in-law knew who the guy was, I became uninterested. So once Vince came out and showed me who the heel was, and 10 minutes went by and we still had a match going on, and we knew all right, Austin's gonna turn heel, we all know it, and we have to watch 10 more minutes of a match. I got uninterested. If he would have came out and that was the finish, we only saw Vince help for a second. We see Vince pull Rock off, and we're okay. And then 5 minutes, I'm exaggerating, but minutes go by, and Austin's give me a chair. It's Jim Ross isn't freaking. What's happening? I became uninterested. So if Vince would have came out immediately with a chair, pulled Rock off, boom, chair shot. Boom, stunner. What the hell's going on? But we had to sit for 10 minutes of this. So that's what I think drew off from the turn. If it was an instant, boom. But I think the slow burn would kill it for me.
That's fair. That's completely fair. For real.
We knew the finish. We knew that Breaking Bad. I can't remember his name right now. The main character. We knew he was screwed. Isaac. We knew he was screwed, but we had to watch like 8 more episodes of. We already know. All right, cool. Show's over now.
Yeah,
I fucking love that show.
Walter White.
Yeah, right? Walter White. Yeah,
Walter White.
Still one of the greatest shows of all time. But man, I wish like we would have went longer without. Anyway,
You want to know what's a fun show? A fun show to watch, man. Down this.
You got to make money, Josh.
Tires. You want to watch some funny show, man?
Oh my god,
Tires.
Shane Gillis.
Oh
Shane Gillis, a hilarious
dude,
human being.
That is some funny.
Some people are born for comedy. He's one. He's
hilarious,
one of those ones. Yeah.
JJ Wan. You remember that scene? JJ Wan.
JJ Wan.
TJ's cool, but JJ Wan. What do you do? We don't sell tissues. It's like, damn. I love that show. Anyway, sorry, I went off topic, but listen, WrestleMania 17. Well, no, wait a second. I can't say this. Wait, there's 17 WrestleManias. We can't rap on that. Josh.
Alfred, by the way, had to be incredible to be there. Like that you probably went home and like couldn't sleep for at least 6 to 8 hours after.
Right.
that.
Oh yeah. It's funny because when I was in 4th grade at the time, and my class in 4th grade only had 5 guys, like literally 5 guys, and the rest were girls, like in the class. 4 of us went to WrestleMania. And we didn't even go to class the next day because we got home so late. Like literally, we got home at 11 to 12. Obviously, back then, 11 and 12 as a younger guy is like your curfew. So my grandparents allowed me not to go to school the next day because we got home so late. So that was by far my favorite
3-day weekend, y'all.
Right. Exactly.
Wait, he's like, I can't wait for Raw, baby. Raw's happening. Like,
hey, let me. Man, Raw used to do something back then. The Raw after WrestleMania. So Alfred, you've been to WrestleMania. I've been to a WrestleMania. I went to the one in Orlando when Ric Flair took on Shawn Michaels. That was the WrestleMania I went to. Adrian, have you ever been to a WrestleMania?
I have not been to a WrestleMania. No.
Oh, yeah.
Raw,
it's
SmackDown, no WrestleMania.
You have to get that on your bucket list.
That's one thing you could say, right? Yeah, it's true. It's like you could say, I've been to a WrestleMania.
Yeah, I gotta sell a lot of my shit to go to WrestleMania.
3 WrestleManias?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
I've been to 20. I went to 28. Trump, Umaga, Bobby Lashley that match. I went to COVID Mania, Mercedes Moné, Night One, Mercedes Moné and Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. And then I went to Orlando, same as you, Bobby.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. All right.
So I went to the WrestleMania 17, the 25th one in Houston. I went to I think it was 28, the one with Roman and Triple H in Arlington. And I went to the one I think it was 37, I want to say, where when it was at Arlington as well with Brock and Roman. You know, the Brock and Roman with the 2-night one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went to those 4. Because they're all in the area, so.
I know they're coming to Nashville, so I might have to. They're coming to Nashville in a couple years, I think. So
come back to Miami, please.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tampa in Florida for not caring about COVID and running WrestleMania. I got the cheap, it was pretty cheap tickets. It was spaced out. There was, the rules. I was lounging, bro. There was half filled Raymond James Stadium. No, you weren't allowed to have people in front of you or behind you or next to you. Dude,
love it.
That's the best sporting event of all time. Just for that.
That's magic, man. Hey, so listen, this before we get to the wrap up here, Josh, the spotlight is on you. 17 WrestleManias. Where does this one rank?
Going into this, there was a number 1 on my list already. It's coming up. My favorite WrestleMania is coming up. So I didn't put it on the list yet because that's my biased favorite WrestleMania. But this one so far is the best one so far. Okay. I'm curious when we rewatch my favorite one because it got me back into wrestling. What I mean by that is I found out what girls were and how they smelled and what they felt like and what they tasted like. Kissing around this age.
Touching,
so
loving.
Like adding Stone Cold Steve Austin, adding WCW officially out of business. I might have just found interest in girls at this time. Honey Castro, my first real girlfriend. So I did watch WrestleManias, but the WrestleMania, I'll just say it, WrestleMania 19 is my favorite of all time. So that got me. Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho.
I heard it too, DSG.
Yeah, I know.
Smelled, touched, tasted. Whoa, my brother. My brother.
Anyway. So this is number 1.
Shout out to
Penny, now.
Whoever it was.
You say one for now. Wow.
We'll see if when I rewatch WrestleMania 19, my favorite, we'll see how that leads up because I had Brock Lesnar angle that had my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Yeah,
Jericho,
WrestleMania
the
19
best
was
wrestling
great.
match I've ever seen in my life, Jericho and Shawn Michaels. So we'll
That's an
see if
underrated
that one.
WrestleMania too.
But again,
Yes,
that's
sir.
what like these WrestleManias that are coming up 17, 18, 19, like they were like that's like where it started getting really good.
Great
you know?
era.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
great
yeah.
era.
Oh,
I
yeah.
enjoy like I love these WrestleManias that are coming up, and I'm excited to rewatch them.
Oh, yeah.
Now, first off, so this is on number 1. Shout out to the Tampa. Okay, DSG. Josh.
Hey, we're not called Trampa for nothing, baby.
Oh, Josh taking the entry out of the PG era. I mean, like he could have just said it's first time I, got to experience. Go,
Damn
oh, great,
right.
good for you. Now, even like full on touch, taste. What? Whoa, hold on, stop, pause. Me and Adrian both went. Okay, oh, back to 100%.
Josh.
Good for you. No, but Alfred's like, what did I get into? Damn, I was like, hey. Listen, like I'm this is really cool. I'm excited. I'm happy that we got Alfred in here. Hollywood is back. Adrian popped in, man. WrestleMania 17. I cannot wait to talk about WrestleMania 18. I mean, of course, to me, maybe it should have been one of the greatest matches of all time, but should have been the main event. We're gonna talk Hogan Rock and just that story. Looking forward to that. And of course, we're gonna get to WrestleMania 19. That's just as much fun. That whole card. But what we got going on, what we got cooking here. First on with Finstock FTSN, we have the Dolphins, the Finstock post game show later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time with Finstanza and Brett Lagasse. They'll be talking. I am trying to determine if I want to talk about it or not because I haven't really watched it and I got something going on. I've been doing a lot of things today, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just let Finstanza take it. He'll probably text me now.
Yeah,
you want to do it? But I got my wife came.
This one alone.
Yeah, my wife's been texting me all through here. She's pissed because my son has his friend over and they're doing stuff. So, but either way, that's what happened tonight. Don't forget again, Alfred, Adrian. I saw you in there, my man. I appreciate you, Josh. Guys, go check out the FinstockSportsNetwork.com. Go register to the site so that way you can be a part of the forums and be a part of that community. It's awesome. We got a lot of cool stuff cooking. DSG says, trust me, you don't want to talk about it.
But you don't.
Excuse me. For FTSN, of course, you got Dolphins content with Finstock today on Thursdays. You got Real Talk Finstock. You got East 10th Street Boys is tomorrow afternoon at noon Eastern with me and Alex. We'll talk Dolphins. We'll talk Heat. Heat got Klay Thompson. Excited about talking about that. We're going to talk then on week. Of course, we got. Will there be Real Talk Wrestling this week, Josh? Coming up.
Yes. Real Talk Wrestling should be back Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. I had to take a whole week off of content. Even my fantasy football channel, I didn't do any content last week.
That's why I'm asking. I didn't want to say it. And then
yeah. So I should be back next week. Starting Monday, I have a new person on my show on Cold Brews and Hot Takes. We're doing preseason fantasy football talk. I brought aboard FTSN family member and one of my guys, Josh Wingate. He's going to be joining me every Monday on Cold Brews and Hot Takes.
Oh yes.
Where we break down the fantasy football weekend that goes throughout the whole season, starting with this week, Monday. And then we're going to do our Wednesday show with Justin Bowerly, where we do our matchups, where we talk about two players and we tell you who to start. Fantasy Now Plus is kicking. Check it out, fantasynowplus.com. If you're drafting, we have great draft tools. We have a trade calculator now. We have our rankings live. Dude, our site is awesome. Your FTS Insight is awesome. I checked that out as well. Big things going on here, FTS.
Yes. Yeah, man. I'm excited. And again, yes. And actually, if you're on FinstockSportsNetwork.com, you go to the partners page. On there, I tell you, go to the community page and register. It's easy to sign in. You don't have to put your email. Just put a username, put your password, and then you're logged in there. But if you go to if you go to the partners page, you'll see Caneswear on there, which is our shop partner. You have the Fins TV for with Fin Sammy. You got Rainy Day Podcast on there with Adrian Rainey, man. You click on that, it sends you right to his YouTube, so it's easy to go there and hit subscribe.
That's
we got
awesome.
the Self-Float Sports Show. And you got Fantasy Now Plus. I mean, again, they're live almost every day, whether that's on FTSN Extra, and Fantasy Now Plus, which is their YouTube. You click on that, it'll take you to their website. And I'm going to tell you something, man. That website is disgustingly sick in a good way. Like, I mean, where are these guys? I just said it today. I actually talked about it on the announcement episode that we did for the website, where fantasy now started when it was Once Upon a Sunday, which was a fun show, Josh and his early crew, to where it is right now. It's bar none. And where those guys are going, like if you love fantasy sports, fantasy football, and you need good advice or just different personalities that could give you good advice but also keep you entertained, Fantasy Now Plus. So you get that information on the website as well. Next Saturday, we would be doing WrestleMania 18, but we're off, so we'll figure out when we're going to do that. That'll be entertaining. And WrestleMania 19 after that. Of course, subscribe to the Finns Talk Sports Network on YouTube. Subscribe to the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel. You got the Nitro Rewind. You got Dynamite Rundown. You have Real Talk Wrestling, No Holds Barred Wrestling, and different stuff that we discussed too. You know, now that Alfred made his surprise appearance, maybe we'll get Alfred involved a little bit, talk more different wrestling in there. We got Adrian Rainey pops in.
You know, I plug this too because Justin's in the chat. I was asked last week to fill in for Ruckus Wrestling on September 3rd. Mark this in your calendar. Put in your calendar.
Yes.
Me and Justin Toner will be breaking down AEW All In. I have not been so excited for a wrestling pay-per-view. I haven't been excited to buy a pay-per-view in such a long time. I'm not kidding. I am hyped. Stop laughing, guys. I am hyped.
I got a site. You don't have to buy it. You don't want to buy that. You don't want to buy it.
I want to support the wrestlers. I want to support Will Ospreay. I want to support my guy Kenny Omega.
What?
I can't wait. Dude,
the wrestlers.
Yeah, the wrestlers. You know,
the Circus Olay. Yeah, what are you doing, bro? No, I'm just playing. No, you don't go. Definitely go check out Ruckus Wrestling with Justin Toner and Josh Mabry. Josh Kimmel will fill in for Mabry next week. Which will be a fun show. And Justin's amazing. Alfred, if you haven't seen the Ruckus Wrestling podcast, you gotta go check them out, man. They're good dudes. But yes, Ryan Hollywood will be back. We'll get him involved. I really did enjoy this. This was a blast, man.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, go to the website. Go ahead and sign in, and let's have a blast. I'm Bobby Melendez. That's Josh Kimmel, Alfred Matthews, Adrian Rainey of the Rainy Day Podcast. Like and subscribe, and have a good night, guys. Appreciate you.
All righty.